everyone. How are you feeling today? We are wrapping up fantasy football, and today Ryan and I will bring on Alex. Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm fucking doing amazing, fellas. I can't believe I finally won. This
Yeah,
insane.
you're like the reverse Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, I'm glad Justin Jefferson got his ring somewhere though. Yep.
Yeah, and Henry Ruggs.
Oh yeah, and AP. AP needed that.
Yeah, Ryan, how are you?
I'm just dandy. I am just dandy. I'm excited for probably the last episode of the year, until probably next July, I would say.
Yeah, I was me and Ryan and Alex got talking about that a little bit. This is obviously going to be the last episode of this calendar year. That's not true because today's January 1st. So that would then not make it till the very next year. But Ryan and I might do an episode in the late summer before the draft. Just to kind of give our power rankings esque and give like our Mel Kiper stance because everyone's so interested. And then we would probably have a pre show to the pregame show of the draft. Um, so we will look into that more. But Alex is our league winner this year. So Alex, thank you for joining us today on such a joyous occasion and on such a joyous holiday. Um, we just want to thank you for your time, but also we want to congratulate you on your first win in the league this year as the commissioner. How's it kind of feel after 4 years? This is being the fourth year. Like take us into the mind of your fantasy league and your fantasy team. Excuse me.
Yeah, just going into fantasy football in general, I've been through so much like heartbreak in the fantasy championships that I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. Obviously, I want to win in the future, but I am completely okay with just like kind of sitting back a little bit and knowing that I've gotten it done before. Probably not in the way that I wanted to. I felt like Kobe and I's matchup should have been in the upper 170s, somewhere in that range. And unfortunately, we kind of had a low ball game. But other than that, I feel great. It was awesome.
Yes, we have already. You've already progressed the league on to next year essentially. So without doing some deep delving, I am able to find our stuff from last year, even though it is very easy to find it. I am having issues on my end. Um, but Ryan, I wanted to get your 2 cents on how your team and how you did this year and how the league went as a whole.
I think it was a down year for the squad. This is by far my lowest finish ever. I think I've only finished as low as third before, so a fifth place finish isn't ideal. It sucks knowing that I could have been in the championship, and then I didn't really look at my points, and I would have had to pick up a tight end because Brock Bowers was out. But a simple outscoring of Keegan by 5 points put me in fifth place instead of either second or first, which is a major bummer. But I'm not really worried. We'll get back at it next year. It was kind of a down year in the draft, and I was still able to compete right up until the very end. Just kind of a bad draw that didn't really result in a good fantasy like playoff run. That's Playoffs are tough because like you really can have the best team and then still have bad finishes like Jahmyr Gibbs or JSN. I'm not saying that Kobe had a better team because I still think Alex had a better team, but Jahmyr Gibbs scoring six and Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't. Well, actually, he was fine, but like there was major pieces that just didn't do anything in Week 17. So that's
Yep.
why the playoffs are always kind of a crapshoot. It's better to be hot than the best team. So, but I do think that Big Al had the best team. So I'm happy. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Johnny Sins, and I'm excited for another year next year.
Yeah. Like I always say, the playoffs are that time of year where you either get even or get even
Get even
worse.
worse.
Yes. Thank you for finishing my sentence that I finished myself. Thank you. Now, on the behalf of me and my team, we went through an identity crisis about halfway through the year. I am embarked on a journey of a trade with Alex that I did think that ended up helping me out just as much as it did help Alex out. As Alex was our league champion this year, Um, I did get rid of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Bucky Irving. If we were to go back and look at the year, Bucky had, of course, a very down year because of his injury. And he didn't play. I think he played 4 weeks for me. And then I had him on IR for, I think, 2 to 3 more weeks. And then I dealt him off to Alex. Amon-Ra did very good as well. But for the pieces I was able to obtain and what AJ Brown went through at the end of the year, did end up giving me what I needed to do to get me into the playoffs. And I would say I am a podium specimen. I like to just get to the end and just see where it takes me. In this life, I'm all about trying to crack up and just get the best enjoyment out of things and not always be the best. So this year I had a great time cracking up with everybody. And by cracking up, I mean not playing in the toilet bowl like Sage and Casey. So I want to appreciate everyone for cracking up with me. Not Sage and Casey because they didn't make it, but for all my other league friends, which are few, thank you for cracking up with me this year as we log another year into the system, and I'm just eternally grateful because I have friends in this league that I've known through middle school and high school, and some days I think it's preposterous that we still actually have a communication line still to this day. So everything works out in its own unique way. So as sometimes anxiety driven and as much as I hate fantasy football with with a dying passion, I do appreciate what this interaction gives me every weekend during the fall and winter months, as it does give me a good time to crack up with friends. So I felt I had a tremendous year. I felt like I had a great year going in. I made it to the playoffs. And then Keegan absolutely flexed on me by sitting that player. So, but I digress. That's not an issue anymore. So I think now we should talk about our punishment. Now Alex did hand down our punishment to Sage. And Alex, I believe you gave that punishment out. What was that? 3 days ago?
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere around then.
Okay. And we have yet to hear from Sage.
No glizzies yet. No glizzies.
No, and he is by our account, Sage has not eaten for 2 days. Nor have we heard from him. So that is also making me very uneasy, as Sage is a person who I consider a close colleague. So I hope he's like okay.
Colleague?
So
I think he's
friend.
just fasting for those glizzies.
He's
He's got to
be.
lose a little bit of weight before he throws 76 glizzies down the gullet.
Did we take into account maybe how quick we were handing down this punishment, or maybe not giving him enough valuable time to maybe collect certain funds or collect certain assets, i.e., ketchup, mustard, buns, hot dogs, maybe paper plates to carry said hot dogs? Do you think we didn't give him enough time, or since he had lost for these couple weeks, he should have known the hand of God was going to be punishing down sooner rather than later?
Oh, I mean, I feel like he can doctor up that dog however he wants. So it is entirely up to him how fast or slow he eats these hot dogs. But I was talking to some of the league mates, and I was about to put a time frame on when he had to finish all these hot dogs. I thought that was a little bit cruel considering he has to eat so many of them, but I don't know. I feel like that was a bit merciful there. So we'll see if he gets it done, but I'm hoping he does soon.
I do think we should give some grace on when he can get it done, as long as it's a reasonable time frame on when he gets, glizzies to glizzies. He was texting me about how he hasn't eaten a hot dog in 2 years. Says he watched a documentary on how hot dogs were made, and he hasn't eaten one since. So I don't know
It's
if this
such
is
a
him trying to.
PE teacher thing to do.
It is such a PE teacher thing to do, but yeah, that's what he said. Regardless, bro's gonna eat 76 dogs. We just have to correctly incentivize him to get these dogs down.
Yes. I love Sage. I personally don't believe this is going to happen in the manner we want it to. the idea that you think and it's fantasy football and everyone has it's you play the game, you either get even or you get even worse, and Sage got even worse this year. So for I think for him to legitimately eat 76 hot dogs in a row without having another perishable item to partner that with, um I think that's a bit out there, but I didn't make it. So um that's of course up to just debate of my opinion. Do you think he's actually going to do all 76 before he eats something else, or do you think he's gonna like have like a breakfast dog and then have like a chocolate bar like 1/2 hour, 2/2 hour later, and then have like more hot dogs, or do you think he's actually gonna stick to his word or our word and actually eat these all in a row? Alex, I'd like to hear your thoughts first.
It's this is hard not being with him like obviously 24/7, so you'll never really know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think that he'll honor the punishment. I'd like to think that, but I don't know. This is a rough one, but this is why you don't lose fantasy football. This is the exact reason to avoid
Now,
stuff like this.
realistically, let's think about this. How many days of hot dog gobbling would it take? Because you bring what, three or four to work for lunch. You have another four at dinner. Maybe you have another two as a bedtime snack. That's 10 hot dogs.
Dude,
That's aggressive hot dogging. And you're still taking an entire week to do that. Like this is extreme.
I was about to
This
say,
is
if he can muster, no pun intended, if he can muster 10 dogs a day, that just puts him over 7 days.
mhm.
Now me, I wouldn't be held financially responsible for eating that many hot dogs, nor will my digestive system would allow me to eat that many in a day. Let's say he does like five. So that would take just over 2 weeks. I think that's obtainable. Now let's say if you do one a day, that's 76 days. It's like making one payment on a $76 item one day. That's 76 easy payments.
The
Um,
only issue with that is you can't eat one hot dog a day and then convince your league mates that you're not eating anything else in between.
yes, therefore he would go hungry. So therefore he'd have to eat more hot dogs unless if he was like getting just ripped. Like now are protein shakes allowed? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I mean, you're getting the protein from the dog.
Okay.
So I feel
I
like you're
don't know.
getting
Have you
your,
ever seen a hot dog get made?
yeah,
Yeah, it's made with like noses and ears and like tail, right?
and worms.
And worms.
Intestines.
Yep. That's what it's cased in.
You know,
A good dog. A good dog is
I
cased
mean,
in.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and it looks like pale diarrhea.
I wouldn't.
Sage, we hope you're listening to this as you're starting your journey.
I was just gonna say I wouldn't talk about that. You're gonna deter him from this challenge.
Alrighty. Well, we digress from this, so thank you for delving into this topic with me. I would like to potentially talk about next year's fiasco, and what you've presented to the group that you want to add a carousel of commissioners. The CC is what I like to call it, the carousel of commissioners, i.e., we have a new
Wouldn't it
commissioner
wouldn't
every
it be the
year.
cock? COC? Carousel of Commissioners?
Okay, like what I was saying, Alex wants to do a different commissioner every year. Where did you come about this idea? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I was very hardly working on filling kegs, and I came upon this idea. I I don't think it's necessary to switch commissioners, but I did propose the idea of just like trying to get everybody together the best that we can. I know not everybody can make it at all times because of how far we live away from each other, but say Ryan comes up with an idea like to go somewhere cool to go golf, and then next year it's Jacob's opportunity and he chooses to go to Fort Collins or something, that might be a little bit more manageable. But it's just another thing that pulls the group closer together. I mean, that's kind of where what I was thinking about. I was in the feels of like getting the trophy for the group to pull us all together, and then that idea came up. So I don't know. I thought it was a decent idea. I think everybody would like it.
Ryan, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think the best version of this league is a league where we can get together every year and draft together and have, a bonding weekend together. I think a really fun way to decide the draft order would be some sort of in real life beer Olympics, some sort of like 5 event like Olympics where the better you do, the better you can draft and pick your position. I think that'd be a great way to, kick off a fantasy season. Everybody has to run a 40, or everybody has to do like I don't know, just something stupid, something fun like that. Well, just because you're
They'd
slow,
have to run a
Miguel.
40 with two 40s taped to their hands and drink
There
both
you go.
40s by the end of
Perfect.
their 40, i.e., the
Yeah.
Perfect.
40, 40, 40, i.e., the 160.
120.
There we go.
I went to community college, so I'm not good at counting. Um,
Anyways, I think that would be a super fun thing to do, as well as like a golf element in there. I think everybody golfs.
Mhm.
I just think I've seen a lot of like videos about how that's a super fun thing to do. And I was interested in doing something like that. It also gives us an opportunity to go explore more of the US.
Mm.
yeah, I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, right now, obviously, all of us are in very similar but very different parts of our lives of either getting married, starting new jobs, being in different locations, going through different things. So it's like we do share that. Where like in this particular time of our life, it's tough. Um, but like to try to for not force it, but to like put an emphasis on it, I think is a really cool idea. I mean, I can just attest to when we came back for Alex's wedding and like we went out golfing that morning and it was a ton of fun. Now, yeah, we were like broken up into groups, but like Ryan, it was like you, me, and Casey, and like we talked about everything from from high school to work to almost anything under the sun, and like just having those interactions, I think are super pivotal in keeping something like this around. Because yes, it is super easy to say, yeah, like we're gonna do this, like this is gonna be one of those things that we're gonna do for the next 20 years. But if there's like no physical element, it just is just like checking something off on a card at the end of the day. Um, so yes, it is very tough, and for some guys, it's very tough, and for some guys, it's very easy. So I think it all kind of comes with like a give and go of maybe like so many guys can be there, but then like i.e. For example, like me, Ryan, and Casey, who are obviously not home anymore, maybe it's something where we do a FaceTime or we do like a Zoom in and it's something of that nature. But then most of the league is still making the effort to get together when they can, with all the
Mm.
guys in Colorado. I mean, from you, Sage, Keegan, Kobe, and Jacob, like all you guys are roughly within a hour to 2 hour radius, sometimes even less. Um, and then I mean, when the time's right with me, Ryan and Casey, it's barbecue chicken from there. But um, I think this is always a really tough thing to talk about because everyone is in such different parts of life and everyone does have different financial situations or just stuff that's going on. So it's always going to be something that we always want to do. Will it always happen? No, but I think the idea of consciously trying to make it happen is the best thing that we can just keep doing. So, um, but now with us, Alex, have you purchased that trophy yet?
I haven't. I was kind of waiting until everybody gave me the color, which we did decide on silver.
Okay.
Another thing is I don't know if the company will actually laser engrave it for me or if I have to find somebody else to do that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure some stuff out with that. I'm sure I can get that done somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd imagine if you just get the blank trophy, because I imagine those little plates like screw off, just
Yep.
like most things, and you just take it. Hell, you can even take it to probably like a wood shop place and like at like some random high school. Like they
Yeah.
probably do it too. But like anywhere like that, that's you get like our fantasy name, and then you go, Alex Vitek 2024, 2025,
Yep.
or,
That's kind of
2025,
what I was
something
thinking.
of that nature. And then, and then I think what would be a cool element is like, well, it's like, well, what if like Ryan wins it, or like, what if I win it and we're like in a completely different place? That's when like the changing of hands would make it fun, where like the next winner has to meet the other winner either at a mutual location, or like they got to do something fun. That's, I think, the kind of changing of hands would make that fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was more thinking of an easy way to transfer that, just like sending it through the mail or sending it through a package. But
Obviously, yep,
yeah, yeah, we'll figure it out though.
yeah, but um, no,
I mean,
uh,
ideally, if we had this draft party thing where everybody could meet, ideally it would be nice to hand it off during that.
yes,
So,
I agree. I think that'd be the best. Um,
Something that I've learned as I've come out of adult or out of college into adulthood is I've never regretted going on a trip. I've regretted some purchases. I've got a Ninja Creamy in the other room that was like 250 bucks, 300 bucks that I haven't used in months. That's a purchase I regret. But I haven't been on any trip with friends that I have regretted.
mm,
So, just food for thought.
yeah. Yes, sir.
yes. Next year we have started floating the idea of potentially going to Ryan's humble abode for a weekend for something of that nature. That has been discussed. I know Alex has reached out. Ryan, you have reached out to almost virtually everyone. I know you've reached out to me. Alex, you've reached out to me. Um, I think that's something that is a cool idea that we need to keep circulating, even when like the the spring summertime is going to come around, where like we're not going to be doing this, we're not going to be in this group chat, obviously, because we're not doing fantasy football. So keeping that on the forefront, and obviously with like flights and like real like setting up stuff, like that's something we have to like pre-plan. And looks like we have a guest appearance from a cow in a hoodie in the spot of Ryan. So um, gentlemen, I don't have much else to talk about. I know we've kind of just been filibustering for the hell of it. Um, do we have any final thoughts, or did we want to bring up anything before we send this off into a cold and dark 2026 New Year?
I got one more thing before we leave here.
Yeah.
If you just quickly, I'll hear from both of you too. If you guys were to redraft after this year, who would your top eight be? We'll start
Top
with you.
eight.
Yeah.
Um,
I can go first.
yeah, Ryan, go first.
It would be in this order: Bijan, Puka, Jamar Chase, Jameer Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devon A. Chan, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, Chase Brown, Chris Olave, Drake London, Nico Collins, Derrick Henry, George Pickens, Ashton Genty, Rashi Rice, Malik Neighbors, Josh Allen, Travion Henderson, Justin Jefferson, Omarion Hampton, Saquon Barkley, Cam Scattaboo, Jeremiah Love, Josh Jacobs, Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey, AJ Brown, Bucky Irving, Travis Etienne, Drake May, and Quidshad Judkins. Those are my top 36.
Well, Nick, Ryan went to a university and he doesn't know how to count, so that's a little bit more than eight. So let's hear your stance here, Nick.
Is this like what like my draft order would be, or just like the
Yeah.
top eight picks in like the
Yep.
top
If
1 through 8?
if you were to redraft after knowing what you know about this season, how would you go about it?
Oh, um, I like need players in front of me, which like is making this really tough for me. But like,
Are you saying for 2025?
Yeah, for this season, if
So
we
wouldn't it just be
knew,
the top 8 players this year?
not necessarily. I'm all right, I'll reword this. For next year's draft.
yes,
Oh, okay. I think Bijan's the clear number one.
I wouldn't say
yeah,
clear. I think I'd take Puka over Bijan number one.
at the one, at like the
Yeah.
one of one.
Yeah.
No.
Honest,
think-
you're no matter what way you go, you're gonna get a good player.
yeah,
Like they're pretty even. Maybe one's that much closer, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. I would probably go. I'm trying to pull up the league from last year, or at least get like a list of players in front of me because I don't have
You're
anything in
good. I
front of me.
kind of just dropped that on you guys, but
Yeah. That's something you kind of go over in the footnotes of the pre game show.
yeah, my bad. Testing your
Um,
ball knowledge.
I
um,
Puka and Bijan scored about the same points per game, and now Bijan has a backfield without Tyler Algier, like stealing points and stealing touchdowns. I think that running backs are the safer pick in round one. It was something like 12 or 13 of the top 22 players this year were running backs, so they're returning at a higher clip, as well as last year we had a bunch of wide receivers that
Mhm.
underperformed in the first round. The CD Lambs, Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., Nico Collins. Actually, Nico Collins wasn't that bad, but like those top guys really underperformed, and the running backs taken in the first round were much better. So I think it's pretty clear that it's Bijan.
Yeah, what's kind of crazy to me is having Justin Jefferson go first round this year, and probably next year he'll be in the third or fourth round. That would be my guess
yeah, it
if
just
they
sucks
don't
with
figure out the quarterback situation.
yeah, it's that's purely all it is. It has nothing to do with Jefferson as a player. Um it's just with the quarterback play.
Yeah.
I would probably go, yeah, I'd probably go Bijan one. And then I would probably end up finding my way down to like Jamar Chase.
Mhm.
Um I still like I've always bitched every year about who's going to take the first quarterback, and because I hate seeing guys always take the first quarterback, and this year it was me because I really wanted Josh Allen. I think I took Josh Allen in the third round, um, which I don't regret because I mean his best games are great, and then
Mhm.
his bad games are whatever. But I think who also had a really good year. Obviously, I don't know if he'll have the same production. But Jonathan Taylor absolutely came out of the woodwork. I mean, what was it before they absolutely went on that slide in like week 9 or 10? We were like not like us, but like the league was talking about how he was on pace to like break the all-time touchdown record and like the all-time rushing yards record, and then Indy just like fell flat on their face. So
Yeah. He
I
had
don't know if he's gonna have the same.
26.1 points per game before Daniel Jones tore his Achilles.
That's wild. Um, I think that's absolutely wild. Um, but yeah, I mean, with the amount of teams that we have in our league, we have 8 teams. Everyone ends up honestly with a stacked roster, truthfully, unless if you really
Yeah.
fuck it up down the way. Like it's insane. I mean, I'll tell my buddies or I'll tell other people about like the league, like this league I'm in, and I'm like, yeah, I have Amon Ra, Buck Irving, and Josh Allen, and they're like, how the like what in the world? And I'm like, well, it's an 8-man league, and like we're all pretty, and we play like 2 flex spots, so like everyone has just juiced rosters all the time. So
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I'd say, I mean, those are my couple guys. I don't have the knowledge nor the script to go down and to pick out each individual. But I mean, if I were given the one spot next year, I'm taking Bijan because one, he burned me in another league by less than a fantasy point in the championship, which truthfully burned like that sucked. But I mean, no matter what the quarterback play is, either with Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins, I mean he seems to always do very well. And
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I would say Bijan over like Puka, or I
Big
think
Al, I hope you take Puka over Bijan because you'll have first draft pick.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there's a lot of moves that need to be made, and some things might affect others. So
Yeah. Well,
just go.
Alex, you have exactly 233 days, 1 hour, and 49 minutes to make that decision. You are officially on the clock, and that means the clock has concluded on this fantasy football season. Ryan, if you want to end with anything, you can. If not, I'm going to head right into the credits. What do you think?
Nope, another wonderful season. We have our first new champion in 2 years. Congrats, Big Al, third overall champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I
Yep.
got.
Well, for those who do listen, which is the select 8 in our league, thank you guys. Me and Ryan love doing stuff like this, personally, and like for everyone. We think it's a ton of fun. I have a ton of fun doing it, and I know Ryan does too. And next year I think it'd be a fun idea to get everyone on in a chat like in a video at once. I think that would be pretty funny. I think that'd be a good time. And then maybe we can start bringing on significant others. I know we were trying to get Jenna and Casey on for the toilet bowl preview. That would have been fun. Haley's asked if she can be in a couple episodes, which I think is pretty funny. Maybe we can get Shelby on the chat. But no, we have a ton of fun doing this. It sucks that this is our last episode, but it just makes it that much more eager to get into next year. So, Alex, thank you for putting on this league. I know it's so hard work, but thank you for doing that. Ryan, thank you for always adding all the filters that you're doing at this very moment, and making it a grand old time. And then thank you to all of our league mates. This is a ton of fun. Kobe, Jacob, Keegan, Casey, Ryan, Alex, everyone. Did I miss anyone besides myself? I think I got everyone in. But no, guys, that's going to be it. Alex, thank you again for joining us.
Yeah.
Congrats on congrats on your first championship. Ryan, this has been a ton of fun. Hopefully next year, maybe we can get another in-person podcast again like we did last week. But other than that, I think that's going to send us off, boys. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All righty. We appreciate you guys. See you next season.
Later.